All right. Well, outside of Jason Tatum's career night, that was not pretty. And it was like pulling teeth to get the Celtics to come out on the winning end of that game. They started poorly, they rallied, and because the Timberwolves are who the Timberwolves are, the Celtics ultimately came out on top. And despite the fact that the fourth quarter, it looked like, okay, the Celtics, here they are. They're making their run. The Timberwolves are just going to, wave the white flag. I don't have a white flag to actually wave, but I'm just going to wave my hand in the air. Uh, and you'd say, okay, the Celtics have this game well in hand. We could start talking about, man, what a great 40 piece from Jason Tatum. So nice to, see him finally step up and the Celtics rally around him and win a game. But they pissed away their entire lead that they'd worked so hard to come back for, and the Timberwolves forced overtime. Fortunately, the Celtics were really connecting on their threes in overtime and able to take care of business. But there were several points in that game where you're like, oh my God, this miserable season is going to find somehow a new low point. How is that possible? And despite Jason Tatum playing out of his mind, and you can make an argument this was one of the best games of his career. It was his career best scoring number. That this could have been at many points the new bottom for what's been a season of bottoms for the Celtics. So fortunately, the Celtics were able to get their act together in overtime and get this win. But like I said, for long periods of time in the first half, where they gave up a billion points to the Timberwolves, they gave up 39 points in the first quarter to the Timberwolves. Just absurd. That makes me physically ill to even say. That should never. Oh my God, I might throw up all over my computer. How you give up 39 points in a quarter to this Timberwolves team is beyond me. So it looked like, holy crap, here they go. This team is going to just continue to kick me in the nether regions all season long. There's no end in sight. And then second half came, they played a little bit better. They didn't start the third quarter well, but by the end of the third quarter, they were turning things on. And then the fourth quarter, they really turned it up. Tatum continued to catch fire. And you're like, all right, well, they figured it out, and this is a team that, you can turn it on and off against, and I guess win, because the Timberwolves only have 13 wins, but they took the foot not just off the gas pedal, but they stuck the foot out the window of the car, and the Timberwolves came all the way back, and really, you dodged a bullet, and you almost should have lost that game because of it. Fortunately, D'Angelo Russell missed an open three. Granted, not the greatest shot selection in the world. He did, and on the next possession, bank a three to tie the game. And you go to overtime. But like I said, the Celtics hit their threes in overtime, took care of business, and got the win, and avoided that disaster that would have been losing to the Timberwolves at home, which could have been one of a couple ways. Losing to them at home is bad enough. They were in danger at one point of getting blown out at home, and then in danger of losing to the Timberwolves at home after they come back on you from a fourth quarter lead. So there could have been a lot of points that could have been just a complete disaster for the Celtics. Fortunately, they avoided it. And obviously, the big story of the game, and I see Leonard Kim in the chat saying I should get excited about this, and I am excited about this, is Jason Tatum just went absolutely ballistic in this game, put up a career-high 53 points. I believe that's the third most points ever for a Celtic in a regular season game. So congratulations to Jason Tatum. He was just an absolute monster tonight, just a beast. He could not be stopped. Yeah, he finishes with, just to show you that the plus minuses are kind of silly, he finishes with just a +5 on the night. But Tatum, 53 points, added 10 rebounds to boot, 4 assists, a block. He was 15 of 16 from the line, which is why he got 53 points. Get to the free throw line, Jason. Been saying it all year long, been saying it his whole career. These are the types of scoring nights he can expect on a more regular basis if he goes to the free throw line 16 times a game. No problem. Shot 6 of 10 from 3, 16 of 25 from the floor in 41 minutes. Was just outstanding. Was far and away the best player on the court in a game that had, Celtics target the apple of some Celtics fans' eye, Karl Anthony Towns, and Tatum. Like I said, without Jason Tatum, you do not win this game, and you really needed almost all 53 points from Tatum. So he bailed them out of what was uh, could have been a disastrous situation. Mike, Leonard, and Glenn in the chat, I see you. Appreciate your patronage as always. You guys are good friends, loyal fans, and this was a Celtics game that it was entertaining. At least the second half was. The first half, I felt like banging my head against the wall. It was miserable. Not drywall either, like a hard, sturdy brick. Because it was just awful basketball. But then it picked up in the second half, and it did get exciting. And seeing Jason Tatum cook like that, I mean, that's beautiful basketball. When Tatum is on, it is beautiful to watch. I mean, his stroke is great. His ball handling, his step back, it's poetry in motion. And you see a lot of the Kobe Bryant stuff in him. That is why he was drawn to Kobe so much as a kid, and why he worked out with Kobe before Kobe passed away. You see parts of his game that are so much like that, and you're like, where's the consistency, Jason? You have the ability to do this. On my podcast the other day with John Sapichetti, we were talking about Jason Tatum's draft class and how Donovan Mitchell has really stood out as the best player in that draft class so far. And I love Donovan Mitchell. He's one of my favorite non-Celtics in the NBA. But you look at Tatum and Mitchell and their skill sets, just like size, length, athleticism, ability, all that sort of stuff. And you go, why? Why is Jason Tatum not as good as Donovan Mitchell, or not as consistent? It's maddening. He does things on the court that Donovan Mitchell can't do, and yet Mitchell is the much more consistent player and the much more polished, experienced crunch time player. So it's frustrating, but then you see a night like this and you go, holy crap, Jason Tatum has the ability to be a guy who you're talking about who could lead the league in scoring one year if he just puts it together consistently. Because look at what he did tonight. I mean, not only did he put up 53, he put it up so efficiently. And a lot of it comes from, like I said, getting to the free throw line, driving the ball, creating contact. That's how the great scorers become great scorers, is they live at the free throw line. And Jason Tatum absolutely could live at the free throw line. It's just a matter of setting your mind to it and saying, I am getting to the line. I'm creating contact. I'm making the official blow the whistle. I'm driving to the basket. He's got to continue to do that. And then you'll see a lot more nights where he's putting up 40 plus points, because he's fully capable of doing it. So we'll go into the rest of the starters and the rest of the box score. But obviously, Jason Tatum was the real story. What's up, Big Mo? I see you in the chat. Tatum, again, 41 minutes, 53 points, and 10 rebounds. Rob Williams, 25 minutes for him. He had 6 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, fills up the box score. It struggled at times in this game, but I think he found his footing a little bit. Karl Anthony Towns is a very difficult guy to defend. So Robert Williams had an okay game. I wouldn't say really good, but certainly not bad. Kemba Walker, 39 points for Kemba. 39 minutes for Kemba, not points. 17 points for him, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. Came on really, really, really strong at the end of that game as he hit a couple threes in the overtime. Was big in the overtime for Kemba, but still shooting numbers not great. 5 of 14 from the floor, 3 of 10 from 3-point land. So shooting continues to be a bit of a mess for Kemba Walker, but you'll take the points. And especially in overtime. He was big in overtime. Marcus Smart, big game for him. 41 minutes, 24 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 6 rebounds. Efficient night from the floor, too. 7 of 12 and 4 of 8 from 3. So you got a lot from Marcus Smart. 26 points for Jaylen Brown in 44 minutes. He has 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Very well-rounded game from Jaylen Brown. So Jason Tatum did get help from the other guys. He just, was carrying the biggest burden of all. The bench, not very impressive. What else is new? Though you did get 7 points out of each Peyton Pritchard and Tristan Thompson. Thompson, I thought, played really hard, was very physical and very strong, controlling the glass, making tip outs. So I liked what I saw from Thompson for the second straight game. He played 28 minutes, which is more than I was expecting for him to get tonight. 7.7 boards for him. Peyton Pritchard, 12 minutes, 7 points for him. I'd like to see Pritchard play a little bit more than that. But he did hit 3 of his 5 shots. One of them was a 3. Romeo Langford, just 5 minutes for him, 7 minutes for Semi Ojeleye. Grant Williams plays 24 minutes, doesn't score. I feel like I'm repeating myself every night with Grant Williams. Plays way too much, doesn't give you nearly enough. He's not fast enough to play at the NBA level, that type of minutes. He's smart enough. He has the high enough basketball IQ. He just doesn't have the speed or the athleticism to be able to do it. And he's just constantly overmatched and he makes bad fouls frequently. It's just Grant Williams playing a big role in this team is a big reason why they're not playing well. You know, I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. So Celtics did avoid disaster tonight by beating the Timberwolves, and like I said, this could have been a disaster on a couple of different times. And fortunately, they were able to get the job done. And this 7-game homestand they finished 4-3. I think a lot of people are disappointed in that. I know I am. You were hoping to at least win 5, maybe 6 of those games. Instead, you drop games to the Pelicans, Mavericks, and 76ers. And you certainly can't blame the loss to the 76ers, but you would have liked to see them be more competitive with the Pelicans and the Mavs. Now they go on a West Coast swing that I know our friend Leonard Kim has been worried about and talking about a little bit recently. And there's reason to worry because they're playing good teams. On Sunday, they head to Denver. That game's an afternoon game here on the East Coast at 3:00. Then they're in Portland and then Los Angeles to take on the Lakers. So none of those are gimme games. The Lakers, we'll see if LeBron or AD is in that game. We don't know yet. If they're not, the Celtics definitely should win that one. But it's on the road in LA. The Nuggets and Blazers will be a lot tougher of a test for the Celtics. So they really did need to get that win tonight because they do have a real bear of a schedule coming up. I will be here after that Nuggets game and after that Blazers game and after that Lakers game, as I am for all games, giving you a reaction. Again, huge game from Jason Tatum. Avoids disaster. I'm taking a sigh of relief, but it's still just a microcosm of this season. It sucks. It's been miserable to watch, and to have to scratch and claw against the Timberwolves. It's not where you want to be as a team, but you do like to see your young stud drop a 53 piece. Regardless of the opponent, putting up 53 points in an NBA game is always incredibly impressive. So, good job by Jason Tatum. Well done by the Celtics to narrowly avoid disaster. And we'll be back against the Denver Nuggets and Aaron Gordon, who could have been a Celtic, but Danny Ainge obviously didn't want to give up like an extra second-round pick to get him. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt the Celtics. My guess is yes. And I'll talk to you to recap that game. Thanks to everybody in the chat. I appreciate it. Shout out to Mike, Leonard, Big Mo, Glenn Caesar, everybody who watches live and watches later. Remember to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe and, comment. I'll always comment back. I appreciate it. And we'll see you after the next Celtics game. Take care, everybody.